Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Along This Spiritual Journey. So, what's the point? What's the point of all this spirituality stuff? What's the point of doing good? What's the point of caring? What's the point of trying, right? That's the age old question. Spirituality is not about this earthly plane. Let me repeat. Spirituality is not about your physical avatar. This body will pass. This body is going to perish. It is part of the human condition. So, why do we always feel the need to create only for the world which we can physically see versus the world that we spiritually and emotionally feel daily? The reason being is because we have only activated our first level of awareness. That is when we first wake up into this body and we are little babies and we learn all of the physical and mechanical and elemental parts of how to fit into society. But that is not our identity. Identity is about what we feel we represent in this world and how we want to present ourselves. That is still not spirituality. Identity just helps your avatar walk through this world a little bit easier. Spirituality is about what is it that I can do to make my life easier for the next avatar who has this spirit. When we talk about soul consciousness, and when we wake up to our third eye awakening and all these different terms we use, we're talking about how we have no one paying attention to us when we're by ourselves. Only our mind and our emotions are observing our physical actions. So depending on how you identify yourself is how you're going to then put yourself in situations spiritually. One of the big ones that I talked about with many of my friends, because I think sometimes I can come off as a prude, but I'm not. I can be as nasty as an ex if that's what I want. But when it comes to spirituality and sex, this is a big one. It is fine to go out there and be in a group. It is fine to go out there and have people run through you. That is a choice. But spiritually, you're giving away energy. So depending on in that group who you're giving it away to, you're going to take on their energy. If you're with people who are fully awake, fully what we call healed, and they choose to participate in group interactions, then that's their choice and they're bringing on what we call good energy, right? Doesn't mean that I still believe in that. Remember, this is a human choice too. So my human believes in monogamy. Some people believe in polygamy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But spiritually, you're giving away energy. So depending on how much energy you give away are the timelines you are now agreeing to participate in with those energies that you have coitus with or group interactions with, right? This is why we talk about protecting energy. When I was younger, I was with anybody who wanted to get with me, and I felt it emotionally. I would feel dirty. I would feel bad. And I'm like, why? I didn't do anything wrong. But spiritually, I knew that that person was dark. That person was trauma. That person was everything I knew I should have put my body in, and I did it anyways. And then I walked away with that energy, and then my soul goes into this timeline. This is why when we have dreams and all these fantasies and we talk about limerence and all these things, you're living in a spiritual reality that is existing right now with that energy. And that energy might not want you. That energy probably used you in previous lives in many different ways and however they wanted to. But because they knew they can come back to you energetically, they found ways to do so. This is why it's important to know what you like. No matter what it is. When we talk about food, we talk about sex, we talk about relationships and connections. That's why it's important to have energies around you that you want to be inside of you. Anything you put in this body is going to use the energy and manifest it into the physical world as an output. May it be, again, your expression of self or how you get excited or what makes you happy, sad, or mad. If you're only putting crappy food in your body, you're going to get a crappy result. If you're putting crappy sex and crappy people in your body, you're going to feel crappy about yourself, which means you're going to put yourself in more situations that make you feel like it's hot, but really it's not, and you're just abusing your own physical body to close out some trauma cycle that you're not closing out. You're really just fulfilling that trauma by giving it more of what it wants. This is why I say participate, but understand what you're giving away when you participate. It is not going to be easy because, listen, everybody gets horny, okay? We are adults. That is not a negative word. But if we're so focused on how we want our body to feel, but we're not focused on how we want our soul's emotions to feel, then we're going to start becoming the identity of the acts that we do. This is how you get people who are obsessed with drinking or obsessed with sex or obsessed with smoking. And it's like, that's fine. These are activities to pass the time on this human plane, but they're not your whole existence. So if your whole existence is only waking up to be a sex god and to be a sex symbol, I'm not judging you, but then you're going to get the retaliation and the byproduct of people using you, right? You have to understand the energy that you're attracting and own it. You can't blame others when they realize, hey, this is not who I am anymore. We've seen many people do this, where, like Blac Chyna, where she went from being a sex bomb to now she's like, I want to be divine. I don't want to give my energy away anymore. I realized that that was draining me and it wasn't giving me anything back. That's no disrespect to anyone who lived the life that she lived before, but she woke up and realized this isn't good for my soul, right? This is where we recognize soul connection and soul awareness. Pay attention to how you give your energy away. This is the whole point of spirituality, because when we pass from this human plane is when we walk into the next world. If we're divine, right? Divine energy is simply saying, I took the time to pay attention to how I was giving my energy away in my previous life, and now I call back my energy. And then you can walk into your next existence knowing that you don't have to repeat any cycles. I hope that makes sense. Love ya. Mwah.